functions can also be called as methods. Functions can also be called as methods. Okay. So there are majorly two types of methods. Methods without parameters, and the second one, method with parameters. Okay. So if you look at this examples, this is a method, okay, which is not taking any parameters. Parameters are nothing but variables. Okay, variables. Okay. So this is another method. You can also call it as function. Okay, and this method is taking two parameters. Okay, two parameters. One is f name and l name. Two parameters named as f name and l name. Okay, and there is another method. Here it is taking how many parameters? How many parameters it is taking?
Three.
Three parameters. Okay, so the number of there is no limit on the number of parameters. Okay, you can have a single parameter, you can have two parameters, or you can have multiple parameters, but basically the methods are categorized into two approaches. One is method without parameter and method with parameter. Okay, so let's take the first one, that is method without parameter. Okay, let me take you can use Python online compiler or PyCharm, doesn't matter, both gives the same result. Okay, so if you want to create a function in Python, you must have to start with definition, def, and then function name followed by semicolon. Okay, so one is def, the another one is function name, and followed by semicolon. This is the syntax. This is the syntax. If you try to make any changes in the syntax, it doesn't work. Okay, so any programming language works based on the syntax. Okay, you have to remember the syntax. Okay, and you have to follow the syntax to make sure the program executes smoothly. Okay, under the function you can have one statement or you can have multiple statements. Okay, you can have any number of statements. So for example, in this function we have single statement. What is it? Print hello from a function. This is the single statement we have in this function. Okay, so what happens when I run this program? The program executes from the top to bottom. The program comes from the top to bottom. Okay, so this is a function, this is a function, this is a function. The function has to be invoked. If you want to run the function must be called, the function must be invoked, then only the function gets executed. So please do remember, the function gets executed only when invoked. Another one, the function is a single or group of statements. So as I mentioned, the functions gets executed only when invoked. And functions are basically used for grouping the statements. It could be a single statement or it could be a multiple statements. Okay, so let me run the program. Okay, you can see hello from function. Okay, so how this function is invoked? How this function is invoked? It is invoked at line number 4. When the line number 4 got executed, the definition my function got executed. Okay, so for example, let me remove this my function. So now who is calling this function? Is there anyone who is calling this function? Is there anyone who is calling this function? Let me run this program. Can you see there is no output? There is no output. I'm running multiple times. You can see there is no output. If you want to run the function, I'm repeating, remember, if you want to run the function, you must have to invoke the function. You must have to call the function. Calling the function is very easy. You just name the function name. That's all. You just name the function name with or without semicolon. Hello from a function. Okay. And as I mentioned, a function is basically used for grouping a single statement or multiple statement. Okay. Hello, how are you? Okay. And you can also declare a variable where a equal to 10. Okay. Print. Okay. Print a. Okay. So there are 4 varieties of statements. Okay. String line number 4. No. So how do we define the variable? You don't have to mention anything, no? Print is a small letter. Okay. The P should not be capital. All are small letter. Yeah, that's all. You can see that. Okay. As I mentioned, the functions gets executed only when invoked or called like this. Okay. And the function is a single or group of statements. You can see my function is having 4 statement. It can be a single statement or it can be up to 4 statement or 5 statements or any number of statements. There is no limit. Okay. So now let's talk about function with parameters. Okay. Let me remove and paste it here. So here, this is the function definition. Okay. This is the function definition. This is the creation of the function, creating the function. Okay. So there are, as I mentioned, there are few things that you need to notice. Def is a keyword. It must be required when you create the function. Okay. Followed by the def, there is a function name. The name of the function can be anything. As I told in the beginning, the name of the function can be anything. It's up to you. Okay. And the parameters. Okay. The parameters. The parameters. And followed by a semicolon. Okay. The number of parameters is up to you. You can have 1 parameter, you can have 2 parameter, you can have 10 parameters. It's up to you. Okay. So inside, as I mentioned, there could be one single statement or it could be multiple statements. Okay. Basically, a function is a group of statements, a single or group of statements together to perform a particular task. Okay. So how do we invoke the function? just give the function name. Just give the function name. And this particular function is taking two parameters. It is taking two parameters. Okay. So you must have to pass two values. When it is taking two parameters, you must have to pass two values. Okay. One I'm passing email and another one is refness. Okay, something. Okay. So let me run this program. You can see email and refness. Okay. So what happens is when you call the function, what happens is this will be invokes here. This will be invoked here. Okay. This will be invoked here. The email goes to the f name and that reference goes to the last name as per the order. Okay, as per the order. Okay, email is in the first and reference is in the second. Okay, the first one goes to the first parameter and the second one goes to the second parameter. Okay, so the email goes to the first name and reference goes to the last name, and the value of f name become email, and the value of l name becomes reference. Okay, and with those values I am printing it here, f name space l name. Okay, I'm printing. Okay. Yep. Okay, so let's try one more thing. Okay, so let me give one more name or one more text. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so can somebody understand this error and tell me what is the problem?
It's not stated in the function, like the parameter is like only two and you put like three names. I don't know how to explain.
Okay.
Like
Yeah. You are right. Okay. So the actual definition is taking two parameters. Okay. But here, when you call, you are passing three parameters. Okay. So there is no match. There is no match. There is no function which can take three parameters. That's why it failed. It failed. Okay. So let's take one more example. Again, the same problem. The actual function is taking two parameters, but when you invoking, you are passing only one value. You have to pass two values, but you are passing only one value. So that is what the problem. If the number of parameters is two, then the number of values also should be two.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to make sure the match should happen. Okay.
Okay.
So this is how. Yeah. So let's take one more example. Okay. Let's say definition. Okay. I say add. Okay. A comma B. Okay. And print A plus B. Okay. Then add 10 comma 20. Okay. So when I call this add function, okay, the value 10 goes to A as per the order, and the value 20 goes to B as per the order, and I'm doing A plus B, 10 plus 20, 30, and which I'm printing here. Okay, so tell me what is the problem here?
In line 1 we need colon.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, you are on track. Okay, that's all. I can create n number of definitions. I can create a number of definitions. There is definition 1. Okay, so you need to follow the indentation. Okay, indentation is nothing but the spaces. Subtract. Okay, and then you can say a minus b. Okay, and then I call subtract 20 comma 10. Okay, so here when I call the add, 10 plus 20, 30 should be printed. When I call subtract, 20 minus 10 should be printed. Okay, so like that you can create any number of functions and you can call those functions. And while calling, you don't have to follow the order. Okay, you don't have to follow the order. You can call subtract first and you can call addition next. Okay, add next. Okay, so there is no rule like that. So this is about so creating a function with multiple parameters and how do we call those functions. So this is about the topic.